I'm Zach Snyder.
And I'm Aden Matthews.
And welcome back to another YouTube podcast, the one-stop shop for anything and everything related to YouTube.
The show where, no, this did not age poorly. Unsubscribe or I'm leaving. Ratio.
Ratio. That got to hit different in a few weeks.
It will. I imagine for listeners of the podcast in the future, they'll get a similar reaction to when I made surgery on a grape jokes back in 2018. Like, wow, that really dated the episode.
Really poorly aged. Yeah.
Then they'll ratio me. So
100%. The surgery on a grape. Great meme. one of my favorites. Absolutely.
It's a classic.
I agree. So many good memes in 2017 and 2018.
Like Ugandan Knuckles. Everybody remember that one?
Remember Tide Pods?
Tide Pods, very funny.
Oh yeah.
Very funny.
Was
Big Chungus around there? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Internet icon Big Chungus.
Yeah. Showed up in Space Jam: A New Legacy.
He in movies now.
But
you know who else I saw in a movie recently?
Who?
Our sponsor, Awesome Creator Academy.
What?
If you're getting started on YouTube, you have a little bit of money to throw around. Why not check out the YouTube starter kit? I watched this part in a movie where like Roberto's talking to Thanos, and he's like, Thanos, for $99, you get over $1,500 of value in dozens of templates for advanced YouTube thumbnails, channel artwork, and cards, lower thirds, royalty-free background music, fonts, and more. Simply pay one price and have unlimited access to future downloads as they come out. No need for Infinity Stones. Check out the link in the description or the show notes, and in doing so, you'll be supporting another YouTube podcast.
Damn, that's crazy. And then Ant-Man came out. I remember the movie now. Ant-Man came out. He was like, but yo, if you don't have $100 and you still want to support the podcast, you can become a supporter on Anchor. At anchor.fm/another-YouTube-podcast. You can decide to support us financially at $1, $5, or $10 a month. We'll read your name on the podcast. So, that's cool.
Was that before or after Thanos puts him in his ass?
Just asking for context. Oh, was that the new Marvel What If show? I don't know. That first episode was boring, so I decided not to watch it anymore.
Yeah, episode 2 is like, what if Ant-Man went in Thanos'
If
ass
only.
And rapidly expanded.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to think, it was maybe that line you said from that, maybe?
I think so. I think it's the same episode. Yeah.
Good. That's awesome. Thank you to our sponsor, Awesome Creator Academy.
Yeah, and Anchor. Love you, boys.
And Anchor.
Always appreciate it. Welcome back to the podcast that will not be turned into a motion picture one day. We've been trying to sell the rights to another YouTube podcast. It just didn't work. So
said it didn't have, quote, enough cinematic potential, and I thought they were lying. It had plenty of cinematic potential.
Didn't have enough, quote, substance.
Yeah. Think about how the climax could be, where it's like, Zach, what are we gonna do? We don't have a topic, and we have 30 minutes till record time. Oh no! And then they like scramble around, and they're like, wait a minute, I have an idea for a topic. Oh really? They get it together last minute.
Yeah. That's very like real life. What is our topic, by the way? What are we talking about this week?
For today is the ever so popular Your Week on YouTube.
Yay!
Plus a little bit of news thrown in there too. Why not?
Oh yeah, I like talking about YouTube news. Plus ratio. Don't forget.
Forgot about that part.
Don't forget.
Sticking to that joke.
Till
the end of the show. Till the end of the show.
Yeah.
But I think you're up first, my guy. How was your week?
Oh shit! So I did something unprecedented, bro.
Unprecedented.
We mentioned last time that you were going on vacation, and so you'll talk about that. And I'd finished reading Return of the King, last Lord of the Ring book, and I was like, I really want to watch these movies. These movies are like 4 hours a piece, so I needed to make sure I had the time to watch them. And so after I finished my work Saturday morning, I said, all right, the rest of the weekend is mine. I'm not doing shit. I'm not doing client work. I'm not doing YouTube videos, nothing. And so I watched like the first 3 Hobbit movies. And then I still had 3 more movies to watch, over 12 hours of movie. So I was like, well, Monday, I'm taking a break too. I took the whole week off, bro. I took the whole week off from all client work, all YouTube videos. It was very nice.
You got to see Lord of the Rings, which is we've been talking about.
I did.
You should have seen it, like multiple. I think we mentioned it on the podcast before, way long ago.
Yeah.
So we're even finishing an arc there.
It's pretty cool. I started reading the books about a year ago and finally finished those last month. And then was like, oh, well, now it's time to watch the movies that everybody loves. You know, probably should have seen them when I was a kid, but we did not watch them. So glad to have finally closed that arc. It was really cool. Hope to make a video on it soon. I loved them. They were great films.
They really are.
Bangers.
Absolute bangers.
Yeah, exactly. So that was a majority of my week. I spent a little time playing Skyward Sword on the Switch.
Yo.
A little less of a banger compared to Lord of the fucking Rings, but you know, it's fine. Play a little Luigi's Mansion, you know, and didn't do all that else. I finally started getting back to work. Friday was kind of my first day doing some shit, and then Saturday I went and saw a movie, and then today's Sunday. Episode of the podcast got to go out today. Then I got to edit, and I'm deeming today podcast day because I'm doing shit with you. And then guess what's starting back up on the internet?
Oh boy,
Titans
my favorite podcast.
Bin. Yeah,
let's go.
Titans in the fucking trash bin. Season 3 is out. Watched the first 3 episodes. Wildly surprised that I actually got something out of them. They're actually good episodes.
All of them. All of them were good.
Yeah, you watched them too, which is really
I did.
funny. So, we'll be recording that episode later today probably. And then I'm just going to edit some YouTube stuff or some podcast stuff. And then I finally got back to work on my my next episode of Yin, which hoping to finally get out this week. It's like that Oscar nominated films of 2020 video, like 53 movies. I've been working on it. It feels like forever, but it's a lot of footage that you have to put together for that to make it like a coherent video. So hopefully I can get that done this week because I want to move on. I want to do something different.
Video.
Got plenty of like other big videos in the works and you know, trying to get out before the end of the year. So hopefully I can get that done soon and then move on to the next thing.
I get it. 100%.
Yeah. Bro, that's it. That was my week.
That's the week? The whole damn week?
Dude,
I didn't even mention the iconic third installment of another popular series that you watched.
Oh. I tried to forget.
The joke was it's not iconic at all.
It's not. I watched The Kissing Booth 3.
Yeah.
I was 3 films. I was mentioning it to you. I was like, you know, there's something wrong with me because I did finish watching Lord of the Rings for the first time. I finished reading the books for the first time. Obviously, there's an epic video in that, you know. Homie watching these things, these iconic films for the first time, should probably make a video on it. And I'm going to, but there's a little part of me that would have been okay if I didn't. If I just didn't make the video and just kept it to myself. And yet I feel so disappointed in myself that over the last couple of years, I've seen all 3 of the Kissing Booth movies, and there is no video plan for that.
Nothing. You got nothing out of that.
Nothing. Like I could make one, but I don't want to. I'm good. And it makes me very
past that chapter.
Yeah. So that's very unfortunate.
Surprised you forgot about it. You know, it didn't even cross your mind throughout the whole week. Not to bring up that iconic viewing.
Yeah. Sure. I watched it in bed. On my phone.
Yeah.
At like 1.5 the speed.
How all great art should be experienced. Sped up and in bed.
And in bed on a very small screen. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the week though, man. I vibed. I watched movies, and I didn't sleep I didn't sleep for much throughout most of the week, and then I slept for like 16 hours one day, so that was cool.
Nice.
Just
nice.
Total vibe week. I'm very happy about it. So.
Just straight crashing.
Hell yeah. What'd you do this week?
Well, so I know I forgot to bring it up the past 2 episodes, and I'm very ashamed in this, but Esqueda Industries has gone on summer break. So that was the reason I didn't bring it up. Is here at the company we like to have a culture of taking breaks. Something, you know, Activision Blizzard got in a lot of hot water for not treating their employees well. So we're trying to get ahead of the curve and be like, you know what, everybody's out for summer, you know, like high school or whatever. So yeah, I should have brought it up, but I failed to mention it. I guess I was just so caught up in the excitement around the season for sure. Given that it's, you know, like almost September, gotta wonder when we'll be getting back to work at some point. But I guess I haven't heard a call from the executive, so we'll wait to see on that one. But in terms of YouTube stuff, you know, less importantly, obviously.
Sure.
I don't know, man. It has been simultaneously not a very busy week, but also behind the scenes, a very busy week full of a bunch of tumultuous changes and ups and downs that, as exciting as it would be to talk about in this episode, we are saving it for the next one. So
yeah.
Haha.
Yeah.
Get wrecked. You got trolled.
Ratio.
Right, there's the ratio. We brought it up. No week on YouTube for you. So instead, I'm going to talk about my vacation because I finally took that little vacation. We didn't end up going to Arizona, unfortunately. Rather, the heartland of America, Kansas.
Shit. Kansas? I have not been. Well, I went once. It was literally for like, we went through a bunch of different states back to back for like college shit. So I think I may have visited like one college in Kansas, and that was it. So I don't know nothing about it.
It wasn't very high on my list of places to go, but
yeah.
Turns out there's parts of it that's pretty cool. The drive's bad. Drive is just like flatland country, nothing to see, straight line, horrid. But Kansas itself was actually pretty cool. Got to stop by Wichita.
Okay.
Got to go to the Wichita Zoo. Took pictures of monkey. Took pictures of giraffe. A lot of the animals were just sleeping. So, you know, I guess that's how we all know we're all connected as a species on Earth, is that we all just be sleeping most of the fucking time anyway. You know, not really doing shit. So good to know that those animals don't got any better. They still be sleeping most of the time. So had fun there. Got to see a lot of old Western towns that were like, the buildings were kept together from that time period. So you could just like walk down like an old Western road and see buildings from the 1800s and take pictures of what it looked like inside a school or a sheriff's office or grain mill or whatever. And then we ended up going to Dodge City later on, which is partially even more of a cowboy town, but it's also where they filmed one of the longest running sitcoms ever made, Gunsmoke.
Oh,
you ever watched Gunsmoke before?
I think I've seen a couple episodes when I was a kid.
It's where the titular episode is based of. They got statues of all the homies, their own little like Hollywood Walk of Fame sort of thing.
That's cool.
James Arnett and all that. And, you know, my parents be watching Gunsmoke sometimes, so I'd be catching some episodes and be like, oh, this is kind of neat. It's kind of interesting. I don't know why it went on for 30 years, but that's, you know, it's kind of cool. It's kind of cool, whatever. So, got to see a lot of that. Ate a lot of good food. Kansas City got some bumping barbecue, pizza, just random shit. We were just going out to eat at all sorts of places. I had like a salmon sandwich from a weird museum art gallery restaurant called The Muse.
Okay.
And all the food was just like fancy shit. I'm like, I ain't getting no pot roast. I ain't getting no creme brulee shit. Here's a marbled rye sandwich with salmon on it. That seems inoffensive.
That sounds good.
And it was fine.
Mm-hmm.
It was fine. Wasn't too bad. Could have used more of a condiment because it was a little dry.
Yeah.
They clearly tried to put a little bit of mayo or tartar sauce, but it was so hard to tell because there was just so little on it. So it kind of made the marble rye, which is already kind of a crunchy ass bread.
Very dry bread,
yeah. Sort of all I tasted out of there. But that was really the only major dud in terms of food. And spent about 3-4 days there and then decided to head on back to enjoy a little bit of the weekend, which is all fine and dandy, except for the fact that by the time we got to Dodge City, we were around 13 hours away from the home, which meant we spent a whole day driving. So in case you were wondering, we're such classic tweets on the Blue Couch Twitter where I mentioned nothing quite beats listening to Grief by Zack Snyder while stuck in Missouri traffic. I wasn't joking. That wasn't a funny haha meme. I was living that. I was living my life.
Now,
Did
you just listen to Grief. It like with headphones, or were you like?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I wasn't banging it on the Bluetooth for the whole family.
That's probably for the best. I was concerned for a second. Yeah. Very worried.
But it was a long drive, man. I was bored. I had to do something. I had to listen to anything. Something. So, comedy music came clutch for me there. Without the homies, so I don't know what I would have done. But yeah, then I got back. And now I'm back. My dad stepped into town. He was apparently vacationing too at around the same time, so we ended up meeting up.
Awesome.
Hanging out with him for a couple of days has been fun. Ended up going bowling and roller skating and all sorts of shit that I'm horrible at. So it's kind of been a bit of an extended vacation where one ends and I feel like I'm already back into another.
That's cool though.
Because COVID sort of ruined all of that. And even though it is still very much still going on, feels like it's loosened up a little bit. So
yeah,
it was nice. I'm vaccinated, so I'm covered on that front. But it was just a real nice, pleasant time. Can't say I've gotten much done in the midst of any of that. Outside of recording this podcast, I think the only things I put out were some Aden on Anchors and the final couple episodes of Plague Night. But other than that, it's been pretty light on the actual video stuff, and hopefully I'll be able to explain a little bit more why in the next episode. But we'll save it to then. It's been my week mainly.
It was cool to have a week where both of us weren't trying to be as productive as possible and failing at it, but rather like very deliberate breaks are happening, which is just as important, I think, as the productivity is.
100%, because it feels like usually when we're on breaks, it's always like very unplanned. Yeah. So we just take random periods of time off, which doesn't feel satisfying because even though you're supposed to be, quote, on break, you're thinking about other things. Having a scheduled out period of time to take a breather, to take a break is so much nicer than being off and on and halfway into work and halfway into relaxing. You can just schedule out. It's awesome.
I agree. It's also the first week I hadn't been doing any kind of work in like, I don't remember when, like sometime in college, I guess. So that was really nice.
Hell yeah.
So it was epic.
Take your breaks, everybody. Do them while you can. They're so valuable.
I agree. So, cool episode so far, 19
Wrap it up, boys.
Wrap it saying we didn't do anything, but we do have a little bit of YouTube news, so we're not leaving you empty-handed here.
A little bit of a bonus topic that Zach literally remembered about a minute right before we were recording. Oh yeah, there's a little thing.
Professional podcast boys.
This is why I think it would be a good movie, because that would be an exciting scene where you're like, yo, I have something to talk about for your week on YouTube, and the camera zooms in on your face, like, whoa. Probably wouldn't be a good movie.
I'm starting to picture the movie. I think this got to be made now.
I'm telling you.
Oh,
it's good bang.
So
but since YouTube, you found the topic, you talk about it. Give us a lowdown.
So YouTube is starting a thing called the YouTube Shorts Fund, So we've talked about YouTube Shorts in the past. They're essentially TikToks on YouTube, 1 minute or less videos. And in the past, you wasn't able to make any kind of money from it. So typical ad revenue that exists on regular videos do not work with YouTube Shorts. So that was a little bit of a bummer. But they have started the YouTube Shorts Fund, which is a $100 million fund to reward creators for making shorts. And every month they're going to reach out to creators to tell them whether or not they qualify for the shorts bonus. And so essentially it's a really good thing. It's a really cool thing. I'll mention why it's not like the all in be all like thing of making money on YouTube, but the rules basically are you don't have to be a partner. All you really have to have is at least one eligible short in the last 180 days, so about half a year. You have to abide by community guidelines, copyrights, monetization policies. All that still happens. You can't re-upload videos, blah blah blah. You got to be from one of the major countries, 13 or older, and that's the main thing. What they're really looking for is shorts that have made a certain amount of views. I don't know what that views look like.
No clue.
But they do say that qualifying channels can receive $100 to $10,000 every month. The bonuses are adjusted based on the location of the creator's audience, and viewership engagement are important to that as well.
So depending on how well your short does, basically, they can give you a differing amount, which is kind of neat.
I agree. I did see a little bit of something on Twitter. Somebody had said something like, you have to have like 1 million views to make the same amount of money that you would if you had like 100,000 views on a regular video. So, like, you're probably not gonna make bank with this if you've never put out a YouTube short or you've never done anything on YouTube in the past. But it's like, it's another avenue, I guess, which is cool. I like that.
I mean, even a little amount of money is cool.
Even a little bit
just to have,
right? Yeah.
Especially when you weren't partnered or monetized to begin with, where most people are using shorts to even grow to get the watch hours to begin with, or even subs. Which I know technically the analytics are different on that front. But yeah, this is neat. I feel like I've heard of another app doing something very similar, right? Like this isn't the first.
TikTok has a creator fund as well. Yeah.
I see. So YouTube's like, oh, we can play that ball game. And that's where I feel like the move is probably the most targeted is, hey, please don't re-upload TikTok shit. We saw what IGTV was doing. We don't want just re-uploaded garbage. We kind of want you to do your own thing. And we'll give you money for it, please. Just add stuff to the platform. And money's a good motivator. A good motivator to do that.
I agree. Yeah, it specifically says channels uploading videos with watermarks or logos from third-party social media platforms will not be eligible. So if you have a TikTok and you download it off of TikTok, there's going to be a TikTok logo on that video. You can't just upload those to YouTube and expect to make money from it.
Right.
So you're absolutely right. Like, they don't want re-uploaded content. They want original stuff being made for it, which I get. I get it completely.
Which at that point, like, couldn't you just edit out the logo or like try to find a sneaky way to like do a minor change to get rid of it or whatever? I'm sure some people are going to try to skirt the rules or whatever and get around it. But if you're competing in this space, if you're competing in like the short form space, I see no reason why you couldn't try and do both. You know,
I agree.
Try a little bit of YouTube Shorts, try a little bit of TikTok, see what works.
Yeah, I'm still worried about the whole, like, when you go to a channel that uploads shorts and they have regular videos too, you upload a lot of shorts, the shorts dominate the channel. And I've talked about it before, but it's just like something that really bothers me when I go to my own channel and I put out like 20 different shorts. It's hard to define like the big videos. So I really hope YouTube finds a solution for this. They should have a short tab and a video tab instead of it being on the same thing.
Same. That's what I want.
But that's just the big thing for me, because this means that I want to continue making shorts. I want to continue putting them out. But again, just the more shorts I put out, the less the bigger videos that I actually spend a lot of time and effort on stand out, and that bothers me on a personal level. But
which hopefully this kind of signifies that the YouTube is committed to the idea of shorts, that they don't want to just drop it and are trying really hard to integrate it into not only the regular YouTube but just the content landscape. So hopefully, right, if they're so big on this and big on pushing features like this, that they'll also spend the necessary time to clean it up, add a shorts tab, and fix those little quality of life annoyances that we get on the desktop front, trying to see 30 shorts in the mix with actual videos and not knowing which is which.
Yeah.
Especially if you have thumbnails, right? So good luck.
Right, right. And you don't want to not have those thumbnails because they're important.
A mobile screenshot? That's your other option, right?
Right.
And that looks horrible. So.
Looks awful. And you can already see those on the mobile app. It's just like a screenshot from the video. The thumbnail doesn't show up there. So it's not perfect. I'm hoping they'll fix some things there. But it is a good step in the right direction, I think, for these shorts, because I do like them. I do find some entertainment value in those, considering I spend so much time on TikTok. I'd love to see YouTube get that right.
Hell yeah.
But that's that cool little thing.
The YouTube Shorts one. It's interesting. We've feel like we have a new shorts related topic to bring up like every week or every other episode, and that has not slowed down at all. It's the new hotness, you know. I agree. Which I like. I don't mind it at all. I'm hoping that. Well, I mean, it's similar to how like Twitch was and live streaming was for a while. That was kind of the main thing. You know, YouTube is doing live streaming, and here's what Twitch is doing. Here's what YouTube's doing differently. Blah blah blah. Like that's what kind of shorts are in 2021. Kind of the new thing. So makes sense. Definitely makes sense. It's only gonna get bigger, I think. Right. Oh, if it's not YouTube Shorts that gets bigger, short form video in general will. So, regardless of what platform it sticks to, I think this type of content is around to stay. I agree. Just figuring out how to properly implement it and take advantage is the tough part when we're so very much early in the game when it comes to YouTube Shorts specifically. Right. I agree with that too. Let us know what your thoughts on this topic and our weeks on YouTube down in the comments below. Yeah. Speaking of which, do we have any comments? I just looked. We have nothing. Nothing? Absolutely nothing. Yeah. Also, shout out to our 6th week in a row with having episode 82 about YouTube help channels. 0 views on YouTube. Damn. Wildin'. Not even Roberto watching that one. The first video I swear that I've uploaded on anything in a long time. They didn't get even a single view. I still find it funny personally, but you know, had to mention that. It's eating away at you, Zach. Clearly, it can't be just. Oh yeah. Why'd you bring it up for the podcast? You know why? Desire. You want to know why I actually brought it up? Why? Because I hadn't looked at the analytics for this channel or the comments for this channel in like 5 weeks. I finally just pulled it up and I'm like, oh yeah, it's still at 0. Cool. Still at 0. Nothing's changed. Yeah. Good old boys at another YouTube podcast really care about what they're doing. So, heck yeah. But yeah, if you have any comments, if you got any topics for us, mention that again. We are running out of things, clearly. Clearly. But if, can you tell? You know, all that kind of stuff, let us know down in the comments. How was our episode? I think we're good. I've been Zach. And I've been Aden.
And thank you for listening to this episode of another YouTube podcast.
Peace.
Peace. Yo,
you know what the comments are going to be?
Yeah.
This episode?
Yeah.
It's going to be people being like, hey, nice episode, plus ratio.
If we got comments, I'm sure they'd be there.